Hey guys, first video of 2023, and what an appropriate topic. We are talking about goal setting today. Really, what I wanted to get into is one of the problems or the reasons that goals fail. And to put it really simply, the reason a lot of goals fail is because a lot of us treat it as a one-step process, and there are two steps. And step two is the important one. So step one is exactly what you think. What's the goal? What do you want? What do you want to change? What do you want to be? Where do you want to go, right? We have to have that direction, but then we also have to have the map on how to actually get to our final destination, right? That is where the second question comes in, because saying something like, I want to be healthier, I want to be a better husband, a better dad, I want to make more money this year, I want to, whatever, I want to stretch more this year. What does that mean? What does eat healthier mean? Does that mean eat more calories, fewer calories, more protein, more produce? It's pretty vague, right? Does it mean all of those things? And that's the problem. When we have a singular goal, but really that goal has like 9 moving pieces to it. Boy, does that increase our chances of failing. If we can whittle that down to one very simple thing, you have a much better chance of achieving that goal. So I'll give you an example of one I did a few years ago. I wanted to get back into reading. It had been years since I've read a book. School and mandatory reading, I think, just ruined all of that. But I wanted to get back in, and I didn't really know how to set a goal because it had been years since I read for pleasure. So I started with the idea of trying to read 10 books in a year. And I'm going to stop here again and repeat what I already said so I can illustrate my experience with it. So 10 books a year. That's a more specific goal than I want to start reading again. But it wasn't specific enough. So even if you've done this before with goals and you've gone a step further and said, well, what's the thing I have to do to get going? If it didn't work for you, that still may not have been specific enough. So rather than going to 10 books a year, I went even further and said, what about 10 pages a day? Do I have the ability to plan roughly 10 to 20 minutes into my day every single day where I'm going to read? And most days I did. There were plenty of days in that year where I did not read a single page out of a book. And that's okay, because then there were other days where I read 11 pages or 12 pages or 50 pages because that day I had 30 minutes of extra time so I could read a little bit more. And that's the beauty of it. It's not being perfect every day, but it's making that goal so small and achievable that if we're at least somewhat consistent in achieving it, you will get to that first goal. So step one, what is that goal? Step two, what can I do today to move me towards that goal? And I say today intentionally because it should be something very simple that's only going to take you a couple minutes to sort out. So if we go back to some of the other examples, the goal is not to be a better husband. The goal is to not have my phone on when I'm eating dinner. The goal is to schedule one date night every month or every other week. Those are the goals. Those are the goals where I can look at and say, yes, I did that thing, rather than this vague, abstract thing of be a better husband, start reading again. So whittle it down to something more specific and then forget about that step one. That initial goal, you don't have to worry about, because the only thing that matters is that we do that day-to-day goal, because that's what's going to get us there. So if you were looking at yourself in 2023 and trying to figure out some goals, make sure that when you set them, take it that step further. Find that little piece of the goal that takes 5 to 10 minutes to do each day. That is now your goal, and see how long you can stick to that.